Hi everyone, it's Johnny Seed here, and today I thought I'd go through some of the Dungeons and Dragons modules which I still own, and I'm going to rank them from my least to most favourite. There's 11 altogether. It's just because I own 11 still. I'll also include a short rundown of ones which I've played or DM'd in the past which I no longer own or were owned by friends of mine. So yeah, the top 11 modules starts with... Starting off this list at number 11, we have this module here. As you can see, it's not a TSR module, it's actually a Judges Guild one. It's the Thieves of Fortress Baba Baskor. I think I've pronounced that correctly. I picked this up from a second-hand shop, I think, in Preston in the mid-80s. It must have been cheap, but it's old. It's from 1978, and as you can see, it looks like it's been typed up or done on a very early computer. Very early computer, I'd imagine, from 78. Probably just typed up then. With some very interesting artwork, which I'll insert some pictures of here, as you hopefully are looking at now. I don't really have any memory of playing it or DMing it, but going by some of the writing on here, I must have done so at some point. I think I may have included it as part of a larger campaign. But as for what the plot is or anything, I'm pretty lost for words, really. I don't know. So yeah, I thought I'd include it here anyway, just because it's old and some people may have some memories of it. So there you go. And starting off the top 10, number 10 is the Scourge of the Slave Lords. This is the module series A1 to 4, so I'm guessing this is one of the earliest ones that was released. This edition is the mid-80s one. Now, I don't really have much memory of ever playing it. I'm sure I did. The thing about it is it's a tournament module, and we never really got into tournament play or really figured out what it was. So I've got a feeling again I incorporated this into a larger campaign. I had the habit of doing that, of starting to play off and just like linking modules together across a particular world. And also some of this artwork I never really got into. It all looked a bit weird. It looked like it was photographs that someone had drawn over, and I was not keen on it whatsoever. I will insert some pictures of it here. So I'm sure people who have played this and who know all about it would probably rate it as a lot higher than I did, but as far as the ones I've got, this is number 10. Okay, and at number 9, I'm sure this is very familiar to anyone who owned the basic set in the 80s, because this is the module that came with it. Keep on the Borderlands by Mr. Gygax himself. Introductory module. Yeah, probably DM'd this dozens of times, although remarkably I can't remember anything about it. So nothing really stuck in my mind. It's probably a bit dull. Yeah, it's got an underground map at least. It's got a dungeon in it, which is always a bonus, but I don't really have many memories of it whatsoever. And coming in at number 8, somewhat controversially, it's so high up on the list, is the legendary Tomb of Horrors. I'm sure everyone who's heard of this module, I always thought it was something of a novelty really, not something that you would seriously include in a campaign. If your players have got characters who are levels 10 to 14 that they've probably been nurturing and developing for months, possibly years, you don't want to just send them into here. It'd be ridiculous. If you were going to play it these days, you'd probably want them to be maybe, I don't know, astrally projected into another realm of universe where this exists and where they don't actually really die, or they just play as avatars or something. It's a good laugh, and of course I think everyone should play it once. But yeah, ridiculously difficult. So yeah, more of a gag module really. So yeah, Tomb of Horrors. And coming in at number 7, we have a joint entry at number 7. Well, this is D's 1 to 3. This is the Descent into the Depths of the Earth and the Vault of the Drow. Now I know that this module has sometimes been ranked as one of the best ever made. I know it topped a few polls some years ago, and I think old school die-hard fans probably rate it as the best thing ever made, but I always found it just so difficult to DM. We weren't very advanced, we were like young teenagers when we were playing this, but I think one of the issues was a lot of it takes place in caves, and it was so difficult just to map out. So yeah, all a bit vague until you get to the very end part, which is pretty cool. So I definitely remember trying to play this with a group of people, but I don't know, maybe it was just my limitations at the time of DMing. I never really could figure out what was happening myself, so that's why it's not one of my favourites. And number 6 on the list is N1, Against the Cult of the Reptile God. Yeah, a bit of an unsung classic, this one, I think. A lot of outdoor play, a lot of village play, and some dungeons as well. There was a very good video made by, I'm going to get his name wrong, Seth Skorkowsky. I'll put a link somewhere, but he's gone through this module. He's done an excellent video about it, and just shows about all the what sort of things you can do with it, how you can expand it. But yeah, really good. Lots of fun, lots of potential for intrigue. So I would recommend this one. And number 5 on my list, we have the Hidden Shrine of Tamoa-chan, or Tamoa-kan. I never ever figured out how to pronounce that properly. Yeah, lots of fond memories of playing this one, of DMing it. I like the setting. It's kind of like a South American, I don't know, Aztec you call it, or Mayan. I'm going to get them two mixed up. It's set in a pyramid. It has lots of traps and tricks. Yeah, always really enjoyed DMing this one. I think the players enjoyed it too. And as you can see, it comes with some a picture booklet. So if you're looking for something slightly different, a different milieu, always want to try and include that word in a sentence, then I would recommend getting your hands on a copy of this. I think you can buy them PDF versions nowadays. And number 4, another old-time classic, White Plume Mountain. Again, there was a really good video made by Mr. Skorkowsky, which I will link to. He went through this module. Yeah, lots and lots of fun. It's not huge, not many pages, but every single room seems to have something completely original in it. Lots of traps, lots of tricks, lots of weird monsters and riddles and puzzles and things like that. Something you have to think through. Definitely not a hack and slash anyway. And lots of potential to expand the campaign afterwards with what you choose to do with the magical weapons which you're sent to find. So yeah, definitely one of my all-time favourites. And at number 3, the Sinister Secret of Saltmarsh. This was one that was produced by TSR UK. I think that's what the U stands for. Although there were some UK ones as well. I'm not sure if they came before or after. This is yeah, a bit different. It's set in an old mansion. It's got pirates in it, and I think there's a boat. And it's been described as being vaguely Scooby-Doo-esque. Lots of fun. I distinctly remember getting this for my 13th birthday, I think it was. Played it dozens of times. It's a good one to do with lots of thieves. So if you're looking for something slightly different again, I would definitely recommend this one. There is a few more in the series. I think it goes up to U3. Okay, so we're into the top 2. What's going to be my most favourite module of all time? Well, you're probably going to be surprised at my number 2 pick. I'm going to put this down as being completely sentimental. This is B1. So this was the module that you got if you bought the basic set or just the original box set back in the late 70s. And this is the version that we got when my older brother bought the game sometime in the late 70s, maybe 78, 79. And I think he may have played it once or twice with his friends, and then I kind of grabbed hold of it and sort of, we used to play it. We used to play D&D pretty much every week, maybe 3 or 4 times at some point. We didn't really have much of an idea what we were doing. We were just kind of like making up as we go along. It was only as we got later on that we started to like learn the rules, and then we were quite seriously sort of addicted to it. We would play it every week. We'd sometimes have 10 players at a time. So yeah, this is what I think of when I think of playing D&D. Maps like this, this kind of artwork, absolutely love it. If I had the money to collect anything, I think I'd probably try and collect all the, I think they call them the pastel versions of these covers, the very first ones that came out. And as you can see, this is covered in tape, so very well played. Basic dungeon with traps of monsters and treasure and no real explanation as to why. But yeah, absolutely love it. So what's going to be number 1 on my list? You might not be surprised with this one. It is the Temple of Elemental Evil. I think it's probably the best module ever made for the first series. I mean, I stopped playing this sometime in the mid 80s, 85, 86, so anything that came after that I don't really have an opinion on. Never got into the 2nd edition. I think it's up to the 5th edition now, so yeah, the Temple of Elemental Evil. However, when I came to dig out all my old modules for the purpose of making this video, I was shocked to discover I don't actually own it anymore. I only own the cover. Because somewhere along the line, the rest of it has vanished, and I'm now left with this rather pathetic looking scrap of paper and the introduction page. So whatever happened to the rest of it, I have no idea. I must have lent it out to someone. These things happen. So yeah, Temple of Elemental Evil, I remember DMing this with, I think on the first session we must have had at least 10, maybe 12 players turn up, and we used to just cram into my old bedroom. So there's barely any room whatsoever. Everybody really wanted to play it. A massive party of characters. And so I think after maybe the 3rd or 4th session, when we actually got into the temple, I sort of manufactured a way of splitting them up. I think I had a tunnel collapse, so I ended up with 2 parties, and then we'd DM it over alternate nights. Like on Tuesday would party A, on Tuesday would be party A, and on Thursday would be party B, and then they'd go around the map, and occasionally they'd find things that the other party had encountered, until it was whittled down to a more manageable sort of 8 characters. I think we played this for months, really. Yeah, it was good value for money. Nowadays, I don't think you'd be able to pick one of these up for less than £50. Last time I looked on eBay, so which is a shame, because I'd really like to have it again. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. That was my best to worst, no, that was my worst to best ranking of the Dungeons and Dragons modules.